Welcome everybody back to continuing coverage of Saluki football as we go throughout the season, and there's a reason why the players get out on the field. These two ladies have a huge part in it. They are part of our academic center here at SIU and work with our football team in so many great ways, and of course other athletes as well across campus. It's so great to welcome on Alexis Dodd and Cailey Edwards. Ladies, thanks so much. Thanks for welcoming us into your home.
Thanks for coming down.
No, it's good to be with you both. I mean, look, the excitement level, right, when a season's about to start can build up so much anticipation. We'll start with just you, Alexis, of take the fans through, if you can, of all the preparation things that you have to go through with the players to make sure they're set up for success as they get enrolled in their classes and all the fun stuff that come along with it here in the fall.
Let's see. They come in as freshmen, and then, we work with them and then their campus advisor to get them into classes. There's always a practice conflict, so sitting down, I have defense, Cailey has offense, and going through schedules of like, okay, can we move classes around? Sorry, you may have to miss practice, explaining that to coaches, and then going back through to here's the game plan of when this person's going to take this class, and then they get registered, they go to class, and here we are right now with day 3 of classes and still working out the kinks of some people's schedules, and then making sure they have their books, their access codes, their calculators, lab coats. I mean, it really depends what class they're in and what they need. So making sure they have all the supplies and knowing where their classes are, knowing who their professors are, how to communicate with their professors, if they're going to be gone for games, sending travel letters. I mean, it really goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, Cailey, to build off of that, of like, here we are, as Alexis just mentioned, just 3 days into the semester, but what are the things that you try to do in terms of prioritizing, of making sure, one, you do the jobs that you're asked to do, but also helping out the athletes in terms of making sure you're setting up themselves for success as they start class this week?
Yeah, honestly, you wouldn't believe what our phones look like right now. I mean, I think that's a big thing. It sounds simple, but just making a point in every team meeting to make sure everybody has our contact information. We're getting blown up with text and phone calls and everything, but that's really the way you want it, getting all those questions from especially the freshmen. They don't know a lot about anything out there. It's all brand new. Campus is brand new. I mean, I've been screenshotting campus maps and circling classes for people to make sure they get to where they're going and get there on time. So yeah, I think just little things like that. And I mean, we've went to all of our teams meetings before class started and making sure that communication is there for them and just knowing to always come to us, always ask, and kind of building those relationships early.
What's the great part about doing these interviews with so many different support staff members is their why, what got them into their specific fields. For you, Cailey, what's your why? What got you into this specific field and wanting to really work with college athletes?
Honestly, it's surreal because I always tell people I have wanted to work in college football since I was about 14 years old. It was always me and my dad's thing. I got into high school. I come from a big college football family, and I don't know why him and I clicked on it. My sister was big on it too, but we would just watch the first game in the morning to the last game at night. It wasn't even really about having teams, FCS, FBS, it didn't matter. We'd watch anybody, and my parents were big on drilling in, like, do what you love, and little adolescent me, I guess, just thought, I love college football. So that was what I went with. I started in athletic training at SEMO, and then ended up realizing the medical side wasn't for me. Tried to do PT. I actually turned down my top PT school to get a GA position here because just getting that relationship with the athletes and the development side of things, I realized was just so much more fulfilling for me. And yeah, that's kind of what drives me every single day is just loving that sport and loving sports in general and having that relationship with the athletes.
Alexis, for you, has this always kind of been the career path you thought you would have, or how has yours kind of taken its own shape?
No, I honestly just fell into the world of athletics. So I finished my service term at the AmeriCorps, and I came back home. I was living in Austin, Texas. I came back home, and I just started applying for jobs because I was like, okay, I got to figure something out. And I got an internship at Indiana University, so I was working over in Bloomington, and I did an internship as a learning specialist, and I loved it. I started late, so it was kind of middle of the semester, so I kind of just got thrown into it, and I was like, what is this world? But I had so much fun with it. And then COVID hit. So it changed in a little bit because everyone had to go remote. And then after I finished, I was like, I need to go back and get my master's because I knew it was a requirement to stay in the academic realm. So I was able and gracious enough to come work here. Hillary Wittenborn and Connor James gave me an opportunity, and I've been here since.
There is so much, look, that is seen, right? And what's great about social media and everything that we do is the platform that we can give both of you ladies for our fans to learn what exactly you do. But not everything you do is seen, from a major standpoint, from our fan standpoint, and everyone sees the games. They see what all goes on, even on the practice field, et cetera, but not necessarily within these halls. What do you believe is something that's really special about what each of you do day to day that doesn't get necessarily the publicity that you take really home and means a lot to you? And Alexis, we can start with you.
I would say the relationships that we get to build with the athletes and then seeing them through to their graduation. So we get to celebrate them, when they win on the field, but when they come to us, I take the approach of, like, you're more than just an athlete. You're a human being. Like, let's figure out what life's going to look like for you after. So building that relationship with them is pretty special to me.
How about you, Cailey?
I would say the same. I don't think a lot of people think of academics as having this great relationship with them. A lot of times when I tell people what I do, they're like, oh, the athletes must hate you.
Some days.
Yeah, some days.
Yeah,
But it's
depending
honestly,
on that conversation.
yeah, it's honestly quite the opposite. Like, we're kind of off by ourselves, away from all of their offices, all their team meetings, all of that stuff. So I think we're just this quiet spot for them to come and focus on something else a little bit. And you realize that you think of athletic training and strength and conditioning as having a lot of time with them, but we have a lot of time with them, and we're kind of stealing them in between all of that athletic stuff that they have to do and just having them in our offices pretty much 24/7 if they have 30 minutes to get something done, we're taking them to do it. So you really get to know them during that.
There is so much in today's day and age that gets put on because of just where college athletics is going, right? It's really in a professional model. There's more NIL. There's more money that's flowing through to the athletes, and that's great for them. But there's also, their education will last them a really long time. What is something that you both have learned since being here? That's what's great about this. You get connected with different parts of campus. What is a great thing about SIU from an academic, day-to-day standpoint that, again, doesn't get necessarily spotlighted in today's culture a ton, that's really valuable for them, that really separates SIU from other places you've been?
Well, we're in a research one,
Yeah.
tier one,
Research
R1
R1.
institution. That is pretty serious. We have the most incredible professors out there who are really passionate about what they do, who are doing research in what they do, and you don't find that everywhere. Jeremy Chin, I know he was a member of Strong Survivors. I was undergrad at the same time as him, and that's an incredible program. There's just so much research on this campus that gives athletes, any student really, just the opportunity to get involved in their field and really build up. We're talking so much about careers, give you the opportunity to be successful in the career you want to do.
Well, for you, Alexis.
I would say a lot of professors are also just involved. And, they support our athletes. They come. Like, Tina Colson is probably one of our biggest supporters, aside from Dr. Partridge, who is our far. Yeah, she is our far. But, coming to games, Tina and her husband are passing out waters at the airport before we get on the airport, cheering everybody on. So when we reach out to campus, they're willing to help. And we've built such a great relationship with them. They're like, all right, yeah, what do you need to do?
It's a lot like, when catching up with Mike, Liznicki, and Bree and their staff, and even with Meade, look, you can be with them at some of their greatest moments, right? And the highs, and you love celebrating them. But there's also moments, I'm sure, in here where there have to be some of those tough conversations and helping them through some of those challenges. Again, it may not necessarily be written in the job description all the time, but for you, Alexis, what is it about building that trust when you get to that point? Can't build it obviously with everybody. That's hard to do. But when you do build that trust with an athlete of they can come to you for some, guidance, advice outside of just academics, what that really means to you in your role, and how often that is something that you do on a daily basis with them.
It probably happens every day. But it really shows me, you guys, they listen, they trust me, and they really value, my opinion. So it means a lot to me because I'm like, oh, wow, you may not listen in the moment, but at least you've taken it and you're going to think about it, and then you may come back and probably ask the same question, but we'll keep having the conversation to get you out of the situation. So they're funny guys.
They are.
They are, but don't give them too much credit.
It's going to go to their head.
Yes. I mean, the egos.
Yeah.
at
We do
times
see
can-
all of that too.
Yeah.
they can be pretty high
Yeah.
consistently through the year. Say that all jokingly, but especially when it comes to both of your roles, having that chain of communication and understanding what both of you do with the coaching staff is absolutely essential. And no doubt you need that cooperation with the head guy and Coach Nick Hill for each of you. And again, it's been a common question I've asked everybody. What is it like, one, working with Coach Hill, and also, hey, when there are things you have to approach with him, his respect level for each of you and knowing, hey, I trust each of you that you're doing your jobs, and if you're bringing me something to my attention, I can trust it and know how to handle it and work through those things.
Yeah, Coach Hill is a big communication guy. I think anybody would attest to that. And I think something that's great about him with academics is I've talked to people who have worked at other schools, come from other schools. A head coach isn't always, especially of a sport like football, isn't always meeting face-to-face with academics. We sit down with Coach Hill every week in the staff meeting. He invites us to the staff meeting. We go player by player and grade by grade. That isn't a quick process and something for him to take. I mean, take time out of his day during his season to sit down and listen to us is so big. And on top of that, he's also always willing to sit down with us one-on-one. I mean, that happens all the time where we just have an issue that we feel is best communicated to just him. And he's always willing to sit down and really, you know, talk that over and see what we can do on both of our ends to kind of fix it. I really have to give him praise for saying he makes us a very big part of his team, between traveling and staff meetings and inviting us to team bonding, always inviting us down to the field for practice or games. We really feel a part of Saluki football.
And to really build off of what Cailey said, Alexis, like, I think it's one of those areas where it's easy when the operation can be so big. And I think it's what's great about us doing these different segments is you see there's a lot of people that are, you know, it's much more than just the players. But it can be easy to get segmented, right?
Yeah.
And get stuck in your own worlds. What do you enjoy about the collaboration of everything from the coaching staff to the players to the administration to all of you? Like, what about the moving as one, I guess, is where it can feel like that here, where maybe it's not like that everywhere?
Yeah. Let's see. I would say just being one team. You know, like, we all have the same mission. We all have the same vision. We want what's best for the student athlete, so we can come together and sit down on Thursday mornings. Like, this person's really struggling. How can we rally behind him and get him to success, or whatever that looks like, whether it's we have to change a class in the middle of the semester, we need to get a tutor ASAP. I always tell, like, the coaches run the staff meeting, like, we're co-parenting. We are co-parenting. Like, someone dropped their child off, and we are responsible for them. Like, you're responsible on the field. I'm responsible for academics. Like, be on the same team. Let's get the goal. But how do we get there?
Obviously, you split the team in terms of the sides of the ball. So there may be personalities on both. But is there a common office goof that comes by on the
Yes.
team? That's and if so, who is it, and why would you label this individual?
I hate to give him so much credit. He is going to watch this and say that I think he's funny. I would say on offense, I'm going to go with Chandler Chapman and LaShawn Lester, thing one and thing two. If they come into the office, especially together, you are going to waste time, and you're probably going to laugh a lot.
Now, how about on defense?
There's so many.
So
Honestly, like,
picking one.
we'll just put the corners, all of the corners for sure, from Gavin, Denham, Jay Black. I mean, when we put Gavin and Denham and Lucas as one, I'm like, oh my gosh. CJ Parson.
Nas.
No, oh my gosh, how did I forget about Nas? Again, that corner room. I don't know how I forgot about Nas. Them, the corners as one, definitely. And then Vinny. I will include Vinny as well.
Man, it's the back end of the defense.
Yes,
I know.
those
I'm going to
two-
get in so much trouble for not naming enough offense, guys.
I mean, defense is full of personality.
They
If
really
nothing
are.
else. The corners and the safeties, I'm like, you two groups, for sure. For sure. You just don't know what you're going to get with them.
Your favorite part of game day? That's what's always neat. When we do get to go on road trips, especially on flights, you get to see everybody, right? And there are obviously big trips, but we could start with you. Like, what's your favorite part of when you do get to game day? When it is about the games, the atmosphere, being able to cheer them on, like, what's your favorite part of game day?
I would say just watching them go out there and do what they love. Like, making those big plays that they've talked about and making the tackles and everything, like, coming together that they've worked so hard for is what I look forward to the most.
How about you, Cailey?
Honestly, yeah, I just want to build on that because, like we said, them being here all the time, we're always watching their film
Yes.
and the plays they're excited about, the moments they're excited about. And then you see them through the week going back to, like, the issues, the problems they face. You see them in past seasons struggle with injuries. So then to go out there on the sideline and see them do what they love to do, what all of this is for them, it's very rewarding.
Again, we talked so much about the team, the excitement level, but for each of you, where do you see kind of your career paths down the road? Like, what are kind of ultimately your main goals, where you would like to go, your kind of life ambitions, and how being here at SIU helps you get prepared for those steps?
Ooh, let's see. I'm currently finishing up my doctorate degree, so I'll finish
Awesome.
next spring. So I'm hoping to honestly just continue to learn and grow within the industry. I really enjoy, like, working in athletics. I really enjoy working in academics. So I want to continue to move up in the ranks and see where life takes me.
How about for you, Cailey?
I always say I'm from Southern Illinois. I love Southern Illinois. Me and my husband are here. We're about 45 minutes from here in Pittsburgh, Illinois. So shout out to my little home.
It took you this long?
I know. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm gonna get in trouble for so many reasons.
You're gonna get in trouble for many reasons.
He played.
Naming just two funny guys on offense.
But to be completely honest, this is my dream job, and I just hope
Awesome.
I get more opportunities here. I hope I get to see a million great things happen out there. I always joke with Hillary and Alexis that my dream would be watching Saluki football win a national championship and getting to be a part of that team. So that is my end goal one day.
Yeah, no question. Hopefully
Yeah.
that can come to fruition
Hopefully
sooner rather than later. What I always try to tell, especially in my job and the opportunity I get, is to really relate to our fans and, again, understand different day and age we're in. But these are, and we've made a lot of jokes about, don't get the heads too big, the egos. And it's not just our football team, but we're specifically talking football in this conversation. But there are just so many tremendous stories, especially on this team. There's multiple. I would hate to single out any guy specifically, but when you think of even someone like Derek Harden and everything he's been through from an injury standpoint, personal standpoint off the field, to now coming back and playing, these are really high character, good people. And I know I'm basically answering my question for each of you, but what can each of you share, because you see them? If you're going to find out what their true character is
Yes.
within these halls.
Absolutely,
you just
yes.
are. Like, you can only hide it for so long. Eventually, if you have bad character, it's going to show.
Yeah.
You see them every day. What can you tell our fans about just the people that are wearing the uniforms, that are representing SIU, that you see each and every day, that you want them to know about those people you interact with on a daily basis? And either of you can take that. whoever wants to
I
start.
know.
Yeah.
Such a loaded question.
Yeah.
but
I know it's a very
That
loaded
is
question.
so big.
I would say that they have big hearts.
Yeah.
They may seem big and tall and their butt, but at the end of the day, most of them are gentle giants.
Yes.
They won't agree with me, but they're just pure, and they're humans. They're great. They're learning. They're growing, and they want to be the best versions of themselves. And I just love them all.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I think, honestly, especially with them being young and with the NIL and just the way things are so public these days, people kind of get an idea of them in their heads that a lot of times is pretty far from the truth. These are some of the most humble, I mean, for how young they are, so many of them have faced harder things than I'll ever face in my life, and to be able to get up and go to practice and go to games and still do it is just so big and so inspiring. And on top of that, I mean, the work ethic it takes to be a part of that team, to be a part of any team, it's a lot. So they may come off goofy and they may come off arrogant, but trust me, they are humble and they did a lot to be able to act that way.
Look, and I'm glad we can give each of you the spotlight. You both deserve it, especially with all the hard work that you do with football. But I kind of want to end it on, can you talk about the team around you two as well? You know, I know obviously Hillary leading it all, and there's a lot more to it than just both of you in terms of just the landscape of just the whole department of, can each of you a little bit describe, and I guess we can start with you, Cailey, just how much it takes to really make sure that all of our teams stay on track, and all the people behind the scenes within your team outside of just you two that also play a part in this.
Yeah, so I mean, you have, starting with Alexis and I upstairs with football, and then we both have our own more teams than that, and then we have Hillary, our director, and she's incredible. Honestly, the three of us in general are just one big team. We're always sharing ideas, always sharing issues, and collaborating and coming together. So that's kind of the heart of it. And then we just hired our new GA. Her name is Cailey, and we actually have former Saluki football player Corey McCaleb up there as a student worker. So those are the two people in the office. They help oversee sports. They help kind of just organize the office. I mean, if you could see how chaotic it's been up there this week, it's so full. There's not enough room for all of us. No. And then downstairs we have a study hall monitor. We have tutors. We have mentors. And I don't even know. Do you know how many we have?
Right now, just hired 2 more yesterday. We're at 25 student workers.
Yes, and they, I mean, are working around athlete schedules, so they are also here all the time, also here kind of late and early, and helping us get everything together and kind of dealing with the over-communicating that you have to do when it comes to athletics. And then I also just want to shout out to Carmen and Massey, who are a big part of what we do as well. We work hand in hand with them all the time because a lot of the stuff we do goes together, so we're really just one big team on the support staff side.
Alexis, kind of to build off of that too, is, I mean, it's so essential, right? You want to do your job, correct, but man, you need a lot of others to work hand in hand to make sure this all goes smoothly.
Yes. I would say we honestly divide and conquer. Like, that's probably the best way. Shouting out Carmen again. I've been in Carmen's office probably every single day. Like, hey, Carmen, can we go over this really quick? Good morning, I'm back again. So I'm sure she's tired of seeing me, but I mean, the communication on campus, like, we have some great advisors who work so well with us. I mean, the registrar's office, the bursar's office, like, there's some people still have balances and holds and everything people don't think about. Like, we literally divide and conquer and just get it done.
Maybe both of you can accomplish it, but, you know, I always make a joke with Carmen from time to time because I don't know if either of you have had them, but when she asks, hey, how's your day going? I was like, you know, I smell like there could be some snickerdoodles around. Her snickerdoodle cookies are amazing, by the way.
Oh, my God.
So,
I'll probably be back in her office
I know, I hate to ask her for more, but.
So, yes, Carmen, I know you're watching. This is pressure to make, to make more snickerdoodle cookies. They are. Justin Inslee actually got me on that train. So I got to thank Justin to getting me connected to Carmen that way. So
she's been holding out.
Good to know,
she's been holding out, yes. So now everybody knows.
Yeah, the secret's out.
Yeah, the secret is out. Man, how excited are both of you that the game days are finally almost here? You know, we're talking
Literally
to you about a week,
down.
you know,
Oh my
August
gosh.
30th next week. Like, it's go time, right? Like, it's time to play the games.
Yes, the best part of all of it.
Yes, it is the best part about it, and just know that none of that can really happen without two people like yourself, Alexis, Cailey. Thanks so much for sharing information and, more importantly, just talking to our fans on both of your roles, and know that, look, I'm around this team a lot, and I'm around the coaches a lot. They all really admire both of you and think so highly of you. So please know that your work does not go unnoticed. Thank you both for taking time to join us.
Thank you for having
so much.
us.
Yes.